What's up everyone, this is Augie Fox and I'm going to be going over Ret Paladin 7.0 talent changes. It's a new patch, it's the patch before Legion, and there's a lot of new changes for Ret Paladins. I'm just going to be going over all the talents, what I think about them, what I think is the best choice for right now in PvP. And of course when the new season comes out, when everybody levels up in Legion, I'm going to be making a full guide. It's going to be a longer video, but for now I'm just going to be going over these talents and also a one-shot combo that I found. I don't know if it's obvious, but stay tuned and I'll go over it later. But anyway, for the level 15 talents, there's the three choices are Consecration, Execution Sentence, and Final Verdict. And I think by far the best is Final Verdict. It just gives your Templar's Verdict flat 20% increase in damage, and the Divine Storm damage obviously is not a big deal anymore, since I don't think you can have Divine Storm be free anymore, like proc it or whatever. I think they removed that. But anyway, Execution Sentence is still a talent, but it costs Holy Power, which I really don't like. It has a reduced cooldown, but still I just don't like this talent. Consecration, obviously good for getting people out of stealth, not much else, so I think Final Verdict is by far the best here. Going on to level 30, we have all three are good choices. Crusader is now like a 4.6 second cooldown. It has 2 charges, which is really nice. It's a good change, and basically the Fires of Justice decreases it by another second and gives it 15% chance to reduce the cost of your next damage or healing Holy Power ability by 1. I mean, this is an okay talent. I just think you'll be spamming way too much Crusader strikes with it. I mean, obviously it's better, but I think these two right here are the best choices right here, Zeal and Greater Judgment. I'm going to go ahead and show you Greater Judgment. It's between these two. We're going to have to wait and see which one's better, but obviously Greater Judgment, the best part about it is it crits for people over 50% health, which is really nice, so it does a lot of damage. But it does also hit 2 additional nearby targets. That can be troublesome if you get someone out of CC. Zeal does spread too. It's an upgraded Crusader strike, basically. It replaces it, does like 7k more damage. But with Zeal you have to be really close. See, this target dummy doesn't even get it, so I mean, it's less risky in arena to use if you don't want to break people out of CC. I like Zeal for now, but Greater Judgment could be the choice. We'll see. Level 45, Fist of Justice is by far the best, I think. It's not from 1 minute to 30-second cooldown anymore like before, but you know, you spend Holy Power and it reduces the cooldown by 8 seconds, so an average will probably be like 40-second cooldown overall anyway. So it's still a good talent. Repentance and Blinding Light, maybe use it if your team already has a bunch of stuns, but I would take Fist of Justice. Level 60, Virtue's Blade, Blade of Wrath, and Divine Hammer. All of them are interesting. Blade of Wrath is probably, I don't know, I don't like it that much. It just does less damage and then it adds damage over time, but overall it's still technically less damage. But maybe do some tests on that. I don't know. It's a shorter cooldown though. But Divine Hammer seems really cool. You basically have it up at all times. It just does damage to everyone. You have to check the numbers more to see how much damage, but obviously you can break people out of CC on accident. I don't know. I just don't think it's better than Virtue's Blade. Virtue's Blade, when you crit, it does 3 times normal damage, which is a big thing. I think Rets are going to want to go crit in PvP and Legion, which might be really good. There's some more reasons later we'll go over, but when it crits, it does 3 times normal damage, which is really nice. So when you do crit with it, it's going to just destroy the person. Level 75 talents. So I would take Virtue's Blade right now, but it's interesting. You have to try them all out for yourself, but I like Virtue's Blade. Level 75, I take Justicar's Vengeance, but honestly all 3 of them are really good. Word of Glory now heals you and up to 5 friendly targets within 15 yards. So honestly it could be really good against like a dot cleave Warlock with whatever. Eye for an Eye is really good against melee. It's just a really good defensive against melee. You might want to take this against melee team if you're doing arena. Justicar's Vengeance is what I take right now, but it's just a really fun talent. It's like a Templar's Verdict on steroids, and basically if you have someone, if the target's stunned, it does double damage. And you can just imagine like if you crit too, if you have a lot of crit and you can crit with this too, that would be amazing. And it's part of my one shot that I'm going to show you in a second. So I take Justicar's Vengeance, but all of them are good. It's all situational. Level 90, I think the two best options are Divine Steed and Seal of Light. Divine Intervention cuts the bubble's cooldown in half, but it also procs bubble for you. If you're gonna die, it brings you 20%. It gives you bubble, so it uses it for you. It makes bubble like basically a passive. Obviously that's good, but I'd rather bubble myself, you know, and just have a benefit from one of these movement speed. So Seal of Light is really nice. It might technically be the best one, so let's see. Like, let's go ahead and say you're starting a fight, and I would get all the way maxed down Holy Power 5, and then I use Seal of Light, and you have 2 minutes of 20% movement speed. It's basically, you can keep it up and have 20% movement speed like forever, you know what I mean? So that's really good. But I like Divine Steed because let's say you get sheeped or feared away from like the fight and they manage to get all the way over there. You don't want to cast your mount, maybe you're in combat, but just using Divine Steed, just really good gap closer. It's like having like nitro boots or whatever, like this, but in arena, I guess. So you can use that out of combat too, in combat I mean. But anyway, so these two are good choices. Try them both out. I like Divine Steed. Level 100, the only choice I'd take is Divine Purpose. Your Holy Power spending abilities have a 20% chance to make the next ability free, and we're going to go over that in a second. That's part of my one shot. Crusade's interesting, but Holy Wrath is awful. Don't even think about Holy Wrath. It's even nerfed against players, but it's just way too long cooldown and not good at all. Crusade is interesting because when you use it, you start off with only 3.5% damage. It replaces wings, by the way, and it lasts the same 20 seconds. I would think if it lasted like 25 or 30 seconds, it'd be stronger, but basically you have to spend Holy Power to keep increasing it, and it stacks, maximum 15 stacks. And I've tested this before, and it takes about like 10 or 11 seconds, like using your Holy Power like maximum, even having like 5 Holy Power to start spending before you even before you popped your wings. And it takes at least 10 seconds to get it to be stronger than wings, so then you have 10 seconds of like super wings. But I think wings is overall just 20 seconds better, you know, since it takes so long to get it to be stronger. But keep an eye out for Crusade, it's interesting. Divine Purpose is what I take, and I'm going to show you the one shot. So basically what you do is whenever you spend Holy Power, I would just spend it on Templar's Verdicts. It gives you a better chance. So you already got it to proc right here. Pop wings, stun them, and then use your move right there. 4.6 million right there. That's the one shot. So when you stun, this does double damage, and I crit right there. So that's why I said if you crit, it's literally gonna chunk the person like crazy. So imagine if you crit, and I didn't even have my buffs on for that either. That might have reached even higher. But anyway, so when you stun them, it does double damage. Imagine if you crit too, like that. So you wait for this to proc, and I treat it kind of like rogue red buff. I'm thinking like when this procs, that's your cue to pop your wings and go in for the kill. When this procs, you stun the target, pop wings, use your Justicar's Vengeance, and it's just going to chunk them, and that's your one-shot combo right there. But like I said, I'm going to be making a full guide once the season starts, once we're level 110, obviously. There's honor towns to go through. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, make sure to thumbs up and subscribe. Stay tuned for more.